There was once an orphan girl named Armina who lived on the outskirts of town. I was a child, followed tracks before me. Everyone leaves a story, something left to find. Was I just imagined, curiously fashioned, flown into life to grow? Danger and sorrow also real, cries in the night, never waking to inhale the last burning cinder, choked out by the morning. Armina didn't have much. Her shoes were threadbare, and sometimes she would walk barefoot into town. But when she'd gathered enough scraps of canvas and leather, she set out to fashion her very own shoes. When she finished stitching the scraps into shape, she rubbed chokecherry into the grain and laced them up with cattail twine. The next morning, she put on her handmade shoes and proudly walked into town. And there she caught the eye of a wealthy old woman riding in an ornate carriage. The woman inspected the lovely though pitiful child. "Dear child, where's your mother and father?" "It'll be a very cold night, and I'd like to bring you home with me where there'll be food and a warm fire." What strange luck the shoes had brought her, she thought. Feeling curious and obliging, she awkwardly climbed into the fanciful carriage and was taken to the woman's estate where she was bathed and preened. Now she's fallen into strangers' hands. They're doting on her, scrubbing, combing, tapping, and folding her like a baker needs bread. She sees her face and wonders who it is. Her cheeks grow pale, her hair into a bun like a doll, sitting in a window pane, saying, "Somebody wants me, somebody wants me. Nobody wanted me, but now somebody does." "My, you look like an angel. Your red shoes? I'm sorry, dear, I've thrown those hideous things into the fire with your old clothes. I bought you fine new shoes and more suitable clothing to wear." Day turned to night, turned to day, and the humming wild was replaced with papered walls. She didn't know her voice was poor until she had to sing in key. She didn't know her hair too coarse until it needed to grow fine. She saw herself measured in the faces of others. Was it disdain? Did they hate her or love her? Defending for her became pandering, aimless. Why can't I? Why do I have you? No shame is. But shame did. Doubt grew like wild grape round every bliss. Every limb ever the light had kissed smothered the flowering flames that wished they've scattered and anxious, fed but not sated, a craving wanting a body haunt. Armina was old enough to be confirmed, the old woman took her into town to get her fitted for a new dress and a new pair of shoes. At the shoemaker, there was a great glass case full of fancy shoes and slippers. Among them sat a pair of fine leather shoes shining rapturous red. Armina gestured to the shoemaker, and he lifted the shoes out of the case. And when he put them on her feet, they were a perfect fit. The old woman's vision was very poor, and she did not suspect they were a bold, devilish red. So the following weekend, Armina put on her new shoes and went with the old woman to church for her confirmation. The people gathering outside were aghast at the sight of her scandalous red shoes. As they approached the church entrance, standing by the door was an injured soldier with a big red beard. He offered to wipe the dust from their shoes. But when Armina lifted her foot, he exclaimed, "Dear me, what pretty dancing shoes." And he tapped the sole of her shoes with his crutch, and they began to twitch on her feet. In church, when kneeling at the altar, she forgot to sing the psalm, and then forgot the words to the Lord's Prayer. When the clergyman laid his hand upon her head, she closed her eyes and could only see the shoes. Their brilliant red hue was so striking on her ankles. Her heartbeat quickened. She glanced at her feet, so entrancing, a vibrant red, a vibrant heat. So much longing, longing for life and feeling to be wild and awake, to be whisked wildly away. No longer pretty carry, ornamental child. No longer lace and polished ivory. The blind hunger was waking. After the service, they came out of the church, and the soldier called out, "My, what fine dancing shoes." Armina felt obliged to dance a few steps, so she did a pirouette. But once she had begun, the shoes continued to dance as if compelled by magic. Dancing shoes, with lovely fine dancing shoes, my dear. Red as the season of passion and freedom, of fruits falling from the vine. And dance for me, a little bit of fire on your feet. What you need is not what you believe, no, it is passion, not propriety. Armina danced through the yard. The old woman called out, but she did not cease her dancing. The coachman had to chase her down and seize her, but her feet continued to kick and struggle in the air until finally he pulled off the red shoes, and her legs were at rest. When they returned home, the old woman angrily stashed the shoes on a high shelf and threatened to destroy them if Armina dared to wear them again without permission. So Armina promised to forget the shoes. But as the fates designed it, the woman became deathly ill and was not to leave her bed. Armina closely cared after her, but one night as the woman slept with labored breath, Armina glanced up at the shoes on a high shelf. Surely it would make her feel better just to gaze at her lovely red shoes. So she climbed up and retrieved the shoes, but when she looked upon them, her chest began to glow like a furnace. She imagined the wind tussling her hair, the land unfurling at her feet. What would be the harm in just putting them on for a moment, she thought. But as soon as she fastened them to her feet, she was overcome with the urge to dance. She swayed down the hall, leapt through the front door, twirling and gliding into the heart of town.
As she danced, she seemed to lose control of her feet. When she wanted to dance right, the shoes danced left. She began to panic and grasp at her ankles, but the shoes held fast. She danced as though obliged to dance over field and fern. She danced into the graveyard, but the dead there did not stir. The shoes bore her over graves and through the old stone gate. They dragged her to the brooding woods where hungered creatures prey.
Fighting, fighting, fighting like a wild thing. Sirens inside, driving wildly, it's the blinding fire.
What became of Armina and her mysterious red shoes? I will leave that to your imaginations.